Rain poured down in sheets over the crowded New York street, washing away the grime of the day. People hurried under umbrellas, heads down, lost in their own worlds. But amidst the chaos, a tall man stood perfectly still, his gaze fixed on the grand glass doors of the Hilton Plaza Hotel. His dark skin glistened under the rain, his tailored but worn suit clinging to his frame. It had been 10 years since he last stood before those doors. 10 years since his world had collapsed. 10 years since she walked away. Across the lobby, laughter echoed, a sound that once melted his heart. A woman in a cream-colored dress, her hair perfectly styled, her fingers glittering with diamonds, stepped out of the elevator. The cameras flashed, reporters called her name, and she smiled that practiced, perfect smile. Madeline Rhodes, the millionaire philanthropist. One of them shouted. She waved gracefully. She was everything success looked like, poised, confident, and untouchable. But when her eyes fell on the man standing in the rain outside, her smile faltered. For the first time in years, the mask slipped. "Marcus," she whispered, her voice breaking like fragile glass. He didn't move. He didn't have to. The world around them blurred, and suddenly it was just the two of them again, two souls bound by a past too painful to forget. Madeline had married Marcus 10 years ago when she was still Madeline Price, an ambitious art student and dreamer. He was a jazz musician, poor but passionate, his music filled with soul. They were madly in love, the kind of love that burns too brightly to last, but the world hadn't been kind. Her parents had despised him for the color of his skin and his lack of fortune. Her father had threatened to cut her off. "You'll ruin your life, Madeline. He'll drag you down." Marcus had worked 2 jobs, played late-night gigs, and still somehow found a way to make her laugh. But poverty has a way of stealing romance, of replacing dreams with survival. The night she left, he had begged her to stay. "We can make it, Maddie. I'll do better, I swear." Tears had streamed down her face. "It's not just about money, Marcus. I can't live like this anymore. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of fighting everyone." And with that, she had walked away. Now, a decade later, she was worth millions. Her charity foundations, her fashion empire, all built from the ground up. But no amount of success could erase the ghost of the man she left behind. The hotel doorman opened the door, and Marcus stepped in, shaking the rain from his jacket. The lobby buzzed with murmurs, people recognizing the woman and the man who had suddenly stolen her attention. "Madeline," he said softly, his deep voice still carrying that quiet strength she remembered. She swallowed hard. "Marcus, what are you doing here?" "I was invited," he said simply, glancing toward the charity event poster behind her. "Rhodes Foundation's annual gala. My nonprofit was one of the partners this year." She blinked in disbelief. "Your nonprofit?" He nodded. "Harmony House. We help kids in underprivileged neighborhoods learn music, find their voice, find hope." Madeline's lips parted. You're doing that now?" He smiled faintly. "I've been doing it for a while." For a long moment, neither spoke. The air was heavy with everything left unsaid. "Excuse me, Ms. Rhodes," a young assistant interrupted. "They're waiting for you on stage." Madeline hesitated, then looked back at Marcus. "Will you stay? Please." He gave a small nod. As she walked onto the stage, Madeline's mind was spinning. She had prepared her usual speech, a perfect blend of charm and gratitude, but when she faced the crowd, something inside her shifted. "Tonight," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "we celebrate success and generosity. But I realize I've spent years defining success by wealth, by numbers. And maybe I was wrong." The crowd murmured. Her assistant looked alarmed. Madeline took a deep breath. "There's someone here tonight who reminded me of what I once believed in, before the world taught me to be afraid of failure, before I traded love for ambition." Her eyes found Marcus in the crowd. 10 years ago, I walked away from someone who loved me more than anyone ever has. I thought money would fill the emptiness. It didn't. It only made the silence louder. Marcus lowered his gaze, emotion flickering across his face. She continued, voice breaking, "Tonight, I want to make a donation, not from my company, not as a millionaire, but as Madeline, the woman who once dreamed beside a man who played jazz under the city lights." The audience was silent. "I'm donating $5 million to Harmony House, to Marcus Carter's foundation, because I believe in what he's doing. Because I should have believed in him a long time ago." A wave of shock rippled through the room. Cameras flashed. People whispered. Marcus stood frozen. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. After the event, Madeline found him standing by the window, looking out over the rain-soaked city. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. "I wanted to," she replied. "It's not about the money, Marcus. It's about making things right." He turned to her, eyes full of sadness and warmth all at once. "Some things you can't fix with money." "I know," she whispered. "But maybe I can start by being honest." They stood there, memories flooding between them, the nights of laughter, the songs he wrote for her, the dreams they once shared. "Do you ever think about us?" she asked softly. He chuckled faintly. "Every time I play the piano." She smiled through her tears. "I never stop thinking about you." Marcus looked at her for a long time. "You look happy," he said finally. "I look happy," she corrected, her voice trembling. "But I've been lost. Success without meaning is just noise." He stepped closer. "Then find the music again." Her breath caught. "With you?" He hesitated, then smiled gently. "Maybe. Or maybe just within yourself." For a moment, she wished time could rewind, to when love was simple and dreams were enough. But life had changed them both. "Come see Harmony House tomorrow," he said. "The kids would love to meet you." She nodded, eyes shining. "I'll be there." The next day, she arrived at a small building in Harlem. The walls were covered in murals painted by children, colorful, messy, full of life. Inside, a dozen kids played old instruments with laughter that echoed through the halls. Marcus was at the piano, guiding a young boy's fingers across the keys. When he saw her, he smiled. "This is Miss Madeline," he told the kids. "She helped make this place even better." A little girl ran up and hugged Madeline's leg. "You're so pretty. Do you play music too?" Madeline laughed softly. "I used to. Maybe I'll learn again." Marcus handed her a tambourine. "Then start now." As they played together, the room filled with music, pure, imperfect, beautiful. Later, when the kids left, she stood beside Marcus, looking around the place he'd built. "You did this," she said. "You turned pain into something powerful." He shrugged lightly. "Music heals. It saved me when I lost everything." Her eyes softened. "Even me?" He looked at her for a long time, then nodded slowly. "Even you." Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Marcus. For not believing in us. For leaving you when you needed me most." He reached out, brushing away a tear. "Sometimes people break so they can rebuild stronger. Maybe that's what we did." The sunset poured golden light through the windows, painting them both in warmth. Madeline exhaled deeply, as if letting go of 10 years of guilt and regret. "I don't know what happens next," she said softly. He smiled. "Neither do I. But maybe this time, we'll let the music lead." And as the last notes of the piano filled the room, two hearts, once broken by time, race, and pride, found harmony again. They didn't need to rewrite the past. They only needed to create a new melody, one born from forgiveness, faith, and the quiet, powerful truth that love, real love, never truly fades. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sky cleared, revealing 1,000 stars over the city that had once torn them apart, and for the first time in a decade, Madeline smiled, not the polished smile of a millionaire, but the real smile of a woman who finally remembered who she was, and who she still loved.